AI is going to take your job. You've heard that 1,000 times, and honestly, I get why it's scary. But I want to show you a different way to look at this, because the data, the real world results, and some of the sharpest minds in tech report on something that most people are completely missing. So the big question is, who are the people going to get hurt by AI? It's not the people whose jobs involve hard problems, it's the people whose jobs is the task itself. See, there's a difference between those two things. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which side you're on and what to do about it. Let me tell you about the first profession that AI researchers predicted would be wiped out: radiology. The argument was airtight, especially on paper. Computer vision, the technology that lets AI analyze images, became superhuman around 2019 and 2020, better than any human radiologist at reading a scan. So the prediction was clear: radiologists are done. Why would you need a human to read a scan when AI does it better? Here's what actually happened. The number of radiologists grew. We now have a shortage of radiologists worldwide. Why? Because the people making the prediction confused the task with the purpose. The task of radiologists reading a scan, yes, AI can do that better now. But the purpose of a radiologist is to diagnose a disease and help patients. And because AI made scan analysis so fast, hospitals could see more patients. They could process more scans, revenue went up, patient volume went up, and suddenly you needed more radiologists, not fewer. The alarmist warning didn't just miss the mark, they caused harm. It scared people away from critical professions that society desperately needed. Now this pattern shows up everywhere, especially when you know what you're looking for. Here's the framework I want you to carry with you after this video. Your job has purpose. Your job also has tasks. Those two things are related, but they are not the same. A software engineer's tasks include writing code, but the purpose of software engineer is to solve problems, to diagnose issues and evaluate results, connect the dots, and innovate. Nobody who hired a software engineer actually cared about how many lines of code they wrote. They cared about the problem getting solved. So what happens when AI can write the code? The purpose doesn't go away. If anything, it expands. Now engineers can solve bigger problems, tackle more projects, and explore more ideas, because the mechanical part of the work is already handled. The number of software engineers at a company like NVIDIA going up, not down. Now apply this to your own work. If you're an accountant, the task is processing numbers. The purpose is financial clarity, strategic advice, and helping people make better decisions. AI handles the processing. You become a financial analyst. A financial advisor, your value goes up. If you're a carpenter, the task is cutting and assembling. The purpose is building something great for a client. AI makes you an architect. You design, visualize, plan, and deliver at a level that used to require massive amounts of hours. The same goes with plumbers, pharmacists, farmers, lawyers, marketers. Across the board, the people who understand this framework are about to get a serious upgrade. The people who don't, the ones whose identity is completely fused to the task and not the purpose, those are the ones that are at the real risk. Let's use coding as a case study, because it's where the transformation is most visible right now. The definition of coding is changing. Everyone has heard about vibe coding by now. Hell, I even made a video about it. But here's what's actually happening. Today, coding increasingly means specifying what you want built, describing a problem clearly, giving context and direction, and then working back and forth with AI to refine the result. Today, coding increasingly means specifying what you want built, describing a problem clearly and giving context and direction, and then working back and forth with AI to refine the result. If that's the new definition of coding, how many people can do that? See, that number just 100x. But there's a clear difference between someone who understands the problem and not just the task. Every person who can clearly describe a problem, think through the solution, and communicate a vision is now a coder. And I say this very loosely. That means the barrier didn't just lower, it almost disappeared. Now, does that mean traditional programming knowledge is worthless? No. If anything, the people who deeply understand how software works, what good architecture looks like, and what makes a system scale, those people are best positioned to guide AI, to produce something that is generally excellent. They speak the language, they know what to ask for. But the point is this: the population of the people who can build things with software just exploded. And that means more products and more businesses and more solutions. There's going to be more demand for people who can think clearly and build intentionally. I want to be very clear. I want to acknowledge something very real for a second. The transition is not painless. And when transformative technology arrives, there's going to be disruption. There will be jobs that change faster than people can adapt. There will be real pain for real people with real families. That deserves compassion, not dismissal. But here's how I deal with anxiety, because I think this is practical and it can work. I think what needs to happen is we need to break the problem down. Separate what you can control from what you can't, and then focus everything on the stuff that you can actually do something about. At the end of the day, AI is not going anywhere. So you can generally get good at using AI. I'm not talking about just being aware of it. It's not about how many times you tried a chatbot. It's about how to leverage AI's full potential. Because here's the hiring reality. If someone is choosing between two candidates today, the same background, same experience, and one of them knows how to use AI tools effectively and the other doesn't, it's not even a close call. I know plenty of CEOs and hiring managers that favor AI users over the ones who won't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. This isn't a future scenario. This is happening right now across every field. In accounting, law, marketing, sales, supply chain, customer service, the AI literate candidate always wins, at least 90% of the time. And the beautiful thing about AI, you can use it to learn how to use AI. That sounds circular, but it's real. If you're worried about your job, open an AI tool right now. I'm concerned about how AI might affect my career in X field. What specific skills should I build? And what steps should I take? And it will give you a point-by-point roadmap. It's the best career coach most people never really thought to use. And it's free. But here's what I want. I want to leave you with a specific way of thinking about this, because mindset really does matter here. Don't ask, will AI take my job? Ask, how can AI elevate my job? Those two questions are completely different, and they lead to completely different places. The first question puts you in a defensive crouch, waiting for something to happen to you. The second question puts you in the driver's seat. You become the person who figures out how to use AI to deliver more value than anyone else in your field. Think about what AI removes from your work: the repetitive stuff, the data entry, the first drafts, the routine analysis, the time-consuming research. What's left when all that is handled? The creative parts, the judgment calls, the relationship building, and the strategic thinking. The things that make work actually interesting. This is what's already happening in programming. People who've spent their career staring at syntax errors and boilerplate code are suddenly spending more time on designing the products and making genuine decisions. It's more fun, it's more rewarding, and it produces better work. That same shift is coming to every profession. The question is whether you get ahead of it or whether it catches you off guard. Here's the larger truth underneath all this. Every major technological shift in history, the printing press, electricity, the internet, they all look terrified from the inside. It disrupted industries, it displaced workers, it created enormous uncertainty. Every single time, the net result was more jobs, more opportunity, and higher standard of living for the people who adapted. AI is not different in kind, it's different in speed. And that speed is real and it demands urgency. But the underlying pattern, technology amplifies human capability, creates new categories of work, and rewards the people who can learn to use it. That pattern is holding on to reality. The radiologist story isn't an exception, it's the rule. So here's what I want you to do today. Not tomorrow, do this right now. Write down the purpose of your job, not the task, the purpose. Why does your role exist? What problem does it solve? And who does it help? Then open up any AI tool you want and ask it, how can AI help me do this purpose better? What tasks can it handle so I can focus on what matters the most? That conversation is where your edge is. And yeah, it's a little weird, it's AI, but listen, no one's gonna tell you better than AI itself. Because the people thriving right now aren't the ones who avoided the shift, they're the ones who ran towards it. Are you gonna continue playing the game? Or are you gonna let AI put you in checkmate? If this framing was useful, subscribe. I put out videos on navigating this stuff practically and honestly. And drop a comment. What's your job? And what do you think the purpose of it really is? I'm genuinely curious. And last, thank you guys for watching. And remember, do more, never give up, and always stay humble.